Welcome back to the deep dive. You sent us a stack of sources on one of the most fundamental yet often ignored pillars of website health, XML sitemaps.
That's right.
But we aren't just talking theory here. We're deep diving into the specific execution and, the strategic intent behind sitemap management for complex sites.
Especially for sites built on a platform like HighLevel.
Exactly.
And that's our goal today. I mean, it's easy to look at a sitemap and just see this dry technical file.
Yeah, just a bunch of code.
Right. But we want to shift to that perception. We're extracting the exact technical steps, how to generate it, how to clean it, how to submit it, but more importantly, defining its strategic role.
So our mission really is to give you a shortcut to assertive control over search engine discovery. Think of this as prep for a big client meeting or a complex site migration.
For sure. You need to know not just what to do, but why the rules are so rigid, especially when it comes to making updates.
You can't just wing it.
You can't. Don't think of the sitemap as something Google might look at. Think of it as a definitive, hand-drawn roadmap listing every single URL you intend for them to crawl.
A roadmap you hand them directly.
If you want better SEO results, you need consistent, effective execution of this roadmap. Simple as that.
Okay, so let's start with that foundational question. Why bother? I mean, Google's incredibly smart, right? It follows links, it finds things. If I publish a page, shouldn't Google just find it anyway?
That is the perfect question to start with because it gets right to the strategic impact.
Okay.
While Google can find content through links, the sitemap ensures that first critical step of discovery is covered. A page can't rank if Google literally doesn't know it exists.
It's an insurance policy.
Yes, your insurance policy, yeah. Especially when a site is new or really large or changing all the time.
Which is the exact scenario if you're managing, say, a bunch of local SEO clients or rapidly building out geo-targeted pages.
Precisely. And that's where the three primary benefits outlined in the sources really become crystal clear. They directly address those scaling pain points.
Let's unpack those three, because this is what moves the sitemap from just a technical checkbox to a real proactive SEO tool. The first one is accelerated discovery.
Correct. Sitemaps dramatically improve discovery. They act as an immediate signal to Google the moment new content goes live.
So instead of waiting for a crawl,
you're telling them, imagine you launch a new city landing page. Without a sitemap update, you're just hoping Google stumbles upon it. The sitemap cuts that time way down, speeding up indexing.
And in a competitive niche, that speed can be everything.
It can be the difference between ranking today and ranking next month.
That timing is crucial.
Yeah.
Okay, benefit number 2. This is about something everyone talks about, but few truly manage crawl efficiency.
Right, the crawl budget.
What are we actually optimizing here?
We're optimizing Google's time and resources. Google does not have infinite time to spend on every single website. If your site is massive or it has lots of temporary URLs, draft pages, that kind of thing,
it can get lost.
It can waste its budget crawling content that has zero SEO value.
So if Google spends, say, 30% of its budget on useless pages that I forgot to exclude from my sitemap,
then that's 30% of their effort that didn't go to your high-value service pages. That's the implication, yes. A clean sitemap guides their limited resources right where you want them.
It maximizes the value of their visit.
Exactly.
And the third benefit is ensuring all important pages are seen. This one feels like it's often overlooked.
It is, especially by smaller sites. But this is where the sitemap acts as a crucial confirmation layer. Think about pages that are deep within a site structure, or maybe they're new and don't have a lot of internal links yet.
The so-called orphan pages.
Right. The sitemap guarantees that Google knows they exist and that you intend for them to be indexed. It prevents valuable content from just being stranded.
It makes the whole process feel less like a formality and more like an intentional act of communication.
It is. So if we tie this all together, the key takeaway from the sources is that sitemaps give you a critical layer of control. You aren't just hoping Google finds your content. You are actively presenting it to them.
Control accepted. Okay, let's move to the operational side, specifically using the HighLevel platform. How do we actually create that sitemap URL and, more importantly, make sure it's a clean file?
The process in HighLevel is, thankfully, pretty consolidated. You start by navigating to the core site settings. So settings is your first click.
Okay, settings.
And then you look for domains and URL redirects.
Got it. Settings to domains.
From there, you find the specific domain you need to generate the sitemap for and click the Manage button next to it.
Okay.
Inside that management dashboard, you'll see the standard 3-dot menu for more options, and that's where you select XML Sitemap.
So that gets us to the page list. But this next step seems to be the most critical part of the execution, auditing that list.
This is where you separate the pros from the amateurs. You have to review that list meticulously. The absolute rule is only include pages you actively want indexed.
So anything that's a template, a draft, an internal test page.
Exclude it. If you have a page set to noindex with a meta tag, you must exclude it from the sitemap.
What's the actual consequence if I miss one? If I include a page that's set to noindex?
You're creating signal noise. You're giving Google a contradictory instruction. The sitemap says index this, but the page itself says don't index this.
So Google has to waste time processing that contradiction.
Yes, and in a worst-case scenario, it can delay the processing of the rest of the sitemap. It's just so much safer to only point Google toward content that has a clear, positive purpose. An accurate sitemap is a clean sitemap.
A purposeful sitemap. I like that.
Once you've audited that list, made your exclusions, you click Proceed. HighLevel then compiles the file and gives you the complete final sitemap URL. You have to copy that URL precisely.
That's the key for the next step.
It is. The map is clean, the URL is secured. That brings us to Procedure 2, the formal communication, handing it off to Google Search Console or GSC.
A necessary step. First, make sure you're in GSC and you're looking at the correct property. It's an easy mistake to make if you manage a lot of domains.
Good tip.
Then, you just navigate to the sitemap section in the menu.
And this is where we finally use that URL from HighLevel.
That's it. You paste the complete sitemap URL into the Add a New Sitemap field, click Submit, and that's it. GSC confirms it and starts processing, which formally adds all those URLs to Google's queue.
Okay, so that's the initial process. But let's go back to that scaling scenario. I'm running a high-level agency. I've got hundreds of geo pages, and I just added 20 new ones. I need them indexed now.
Right.
Do I just generate the new file and submit it again? Does Google just figure it out?
And that right there is one of the most critical technical points in this entire deep dive. The sources are extremely specific about this.
Okay.
When you update an existing sitemap, you must employ the mandatory remove and replace method. Remove and replace. Why is that so mandatory? If I submit the new file to the same URL, won't Google just see the new content eventually?
It's about Google's internal caching. If you just submit a new file over an old one, Google might not recognize it as a completely fresh manifest right away. It can lead to delays in seeing those new URLs.
So my 20 new geo pages that I urgently need indexed might sit there because Google is only comparing the file against an old cached version.
Exactly. Or worse, if you remove pages, say you decommissioned a service GSC, might hold on to stale status information for those old URLs longer than it should.
So the removal step is a direct signal. It's like telling the search engine to wipe the slate clean for that specific file.
You are forcing the system to reread the entire manifest as a new document. Let's walk through those steps again because they have to be flawless.
Okay, Procedure 3, the mandatory update.
Step 1. Go back through the high-level generation process we just talked about. Create and copy the new sitemap URL, making sure all those new pages are included.
New file secured. Now for the crucial removal in GSC.
Head back into Google Search Console. In the Submitted Sitemap section, click on the existing outdated sitemap.
Okay, click on the old one.
And on the Details page, look for the three-dot menu, usually in the top right corner.
3 dots. And we select the nuclear option.
You select Remove Sitemap and confirm it, and you wait until GSC confirms it's been removed. Only then do you immediately submit the new one.
So once the old one is gone, you paste the new URL into the Add a New Sitemap field and hit Submit.
And that remove and replace method guarantees Google processes it from scratch, recognizes all the new pages without delay, and reevaluates the whole structure based on the most current information. It's assertive management.
That nuance is so important. Okay, let's pivot and put the sitemap in context. It's an essential tool, but it doesn't operate in a vacuum, right? It needs partners.
That's the key to high-level SEO. A sitemap is a supporting system, not a magic bullet. If your site has severe architectural problems, a perfect sitemap isn't going to fix everything.
Right. The sources call these the partners in discovery. What are the top 2 partners for a sitemap?
The top 2 are inextricably linked: a strong internal linking strategy and a clean site structure.
How do they relate? I mean, if my sitemap says I have 100 important pages, but 50 of them have 0 internal links, what does that signal to Google?
It signals a contradiction. The sitemap says a page is valuable, but the lack of internal links suggests it's an isolated orphan page that doesn't fit into the site's story.
It creates a kind of cognitive dissonance for the search engine.
It does. Google uses internal links to understand topical relevance and to flow authority through your site. The sitemap and the links need to tell the same story.
So the sitemap is the table of contents and the internal links are the page numbers. If the page numbers are broken, the table of contents becomes suspicious.
That is a perfect analogy. The signals have to align for Google to trust your intent.
And what about the third part, direct URL inspection requests in Search Console?
That's your hyper-urgent override button. You use the sitemap for bulk discovery. You use the URL inspection tool to manually queue up a single high-priority page that you need Google to see right now.
So it's not a replacement, but a complementary tactic for urgency.
Exactly. The sitemap ensures clarity and consistency across the whole site. Internal links provide the context, and GSE inspection provides that immediate push for an outlier.
The sitemap's role then is really to confirm what your structure and linking already suggest.
Yes, it solidifies your intent in Google's eyes and ensures your hard work. Building those geopages, writing that content, is actually seen and evaluated without delay.
Which brings us right back to that core idea, assertive intentional management.
By taking control of this process, by being meticulous about cleaning the file and assertive about the remove and replace update, you are performing a foundational act of SEO communication. You're eliminating confusion.
You're forcing efficiency. Which brings us to our final thought for you to chew on. If the sitemap is the official guide confirming exactly which pages should be indexed,
Then you need to ask yourself, what part of your current high-level site structure or your local SEO strategy are you currently leaving to chance?
are you accidentally including old template pages? Are you forgetting to perform that crucial remove and replace step every time you add new content?
The control is yours. The knowledge is actionable.
Go check your sitemap integrity now that you know how easily you can assertively guide Google.
Thanks for joining us for the deep dive.